Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadanti Supadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Udapatakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shivishakam Vidam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagat Pade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namavam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swamini Dinamini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prajarine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shikshartham Eka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dhari Kripambudirya Samaham Prabhadye Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Surupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hari Om Sat Sat. So we are reading from Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, chapter 23. Okay, we'll continue from this particular para. Religion includes 4 primary subjects: pious activities, economic development, satisfaction of the senses, and liberation from material bondage. This is called Purushartha. Okay, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. These are the main principles of the religion. Okay, Dharma is, that is the pious activities. Okay, Artha is economic development. Okay, and Kama, sense enjoyment, and Mukti is liberation. Religious life is distinguished from the religious life of barbarism. Indeed, it may be said that human life actually begins with religion. We know that famous verse, okay? Ahara nidra bhayana maitunam cha shamanya medat pasubhi naranam dharmehi tesham adhigo vishesho dharmena hina pasubhi samana. Okay? If we are not, as human being, if we are not following religiosity, then we are equal to pashu, the animals. What is the difference? They're also doing the same activities, isn't it? Ahara, Nidra, Bhayamaitanam. Eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. They are also doing the same. We are also doing the same. You know, if the same activities are done both by human and the animals, what is the difference between them and us? So what is that specialty that human has? Dharma. Okay, religiosity. If human being minus dharma is equal to animals. Only thing is they have 4 legs, we have 2 legs. They are walking on 4 legs. 4-legged animals, we are 2-legged animals. That's why Ahara Nidra Bhaya Maitunam. They are also doing that. Ahara Nidra Bhaya Maitunam. They are also doing the same thing. So if we are not special, what's the point? Having received this human body, which is meant for self-realization, if we are doing this body for sense gratification, there's no difference between animals and human beings. Animals, they reap the karma. Okay, we accumulate karma. There's a difference. Whatever karma they have done in the human form of life, the result of which they are reaping in another lives like animals or aquatics or trees and plants. But when we get human form of life, we are not just reaping only, we are accumulating also karma. Isn't it? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction as far as human beings are concerned. But for animals, it is not there. That's not applicable. They're only enjoying or they are suffering the reactions of the karma that they have done when they were in the human form of life. So when we get the human form of life, we have to use it effectively. Okay, there are certain things which comes with us as destiny, and along with destiny, there are choices also. Okay, it goes hand in hand. Everything is not destiny. Having me getting this particular form, taking birth in a particular family, having a set of parents, in a particular country with a particular atmosphere or situation, with a particular types of siblings and friends and other things. It's my destiny. That cannot be changed. But my future destiny can be changed. That depends what action I am doing now. So there is a choice. So everything is not destiny. There are certain things destined for me, but certain things I can choose to do. So that determines my future body. So here, we should not be animals. Okay. So human being should be distinct from animals in the sense that we should follow religion. So here, the primary subjects of religion is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So that's what here it is said. It may be said that human life actually begins with religion. The 4 principles of animal life, eating, sleeping, defending, and mating, are common to both animals and human beings. Oh, it's said here only. It's common. Okay. But religion is a special concern of human beings. Since human life without religion is no better than animal life, in real human society, there is some form of religion aiming at self-realization, referring to one's eternal relationship. So in human society, the intelligence is given. Okay. It is not there in the animal society or in the forms that is lower than the humans. They cannot think why I'm suffering. The human can think why I'm suffering. What is the purpose of my life? Who is God? The animals cannot think that way. They cannot, call for a meeting or let's discuss about Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam tomorrow. Please meet in so and so place. Can the animal think of that way from that perspective? No, they don't. They're just like, on the path given to them by the laws of nature. There's a set path. They travel in that path only. They will not deviate even an inch. But humans, yes, we can do whatever we want. We have a little freedom. So that freedom we have to exercise for dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Of course, these are the 4, but actually human life, we should even go further than moksha. It should be meant for devotional service to Supreme. That is ultimate. Panchama Purushartha, Prema. Okay, so this dharma, artha, kama, moksha is the general rule for all the people to lead a life, or religious life rather. But more than that is, one has to transcend these 4 and come to the platform of Panchama Purushartha. That's called Prema, love of God, Krishna Prema. Okay. So only in human life, we can inquire who we are, who God is, why we are suffering this material world, how we can come out of this material miseries. All these things we can inquire. No other form of life, give this facility. So in the lower stage of human civilization, there is always competition between men in their attempt to dominate material nature. In other words, there is continuous rivalry in an attempt to satisfy the senses. So what it is said that in the lower stage of human civilization, in the initial stage, there is always competition between us, between men, for what? To dominate. over the other, isn't it? So everybody is in competition to bring satisfaction for their senses. There's a tug of war. I want to enjoy more. I want to have more. I want to acquire more. I want to be number one. I want to be number one in wealth, okay, beauty, and power, this and that. So there's a competition, rivalry is there. Thus, driven by sense gratificatory consciousness, men perform religious rituals and pious activities with the aim of acquiring some material gain. This is called, fruitive activities. So we are religious, we are going to temple, we are praying, we are doing so many offerings and other rituals also. For what? For getting our sense gratification accomplished. I want a good house, a good family, good material education, and wealth, name, fame. These are all material desires. Okay. For that purpose, we go to temple, not out of love. It's not that I love Krishna, so I'm going to, do some seva to him. Just I want some benefits from Krishna. I want to be number one in everything. I want to be the richest person on earth. I want to have a big bungalow, big car, this and that. So this is called fruitive activities, karma ganda. Some material gain. But if such material gain is obtainable in another way, this so-called religion is neglected. This can be seen in modern human civilization. Okay. Since the economic desires of the people appear to be fulfilled in another way, no one is interested in religion now. So, if you want sense gratification, we need money. Artha, if artha can be, artha, if we can accumulate artha, economic development, then nobody will be interested in religion, because if you go to God and we pray, He will fulfill our desires. That's why people are now. There are, especially in the modern civilization, there are a lot of ways to become rich by corruption and by cheating, isn't it? By corruption and cheating. This is what is actually happening. So not by fair means. That's why people are not interested in religiosity, because it is possible by other means, by cheating. So the churches, mosques, and temples are practically vacant, because they can become rich by other means. That's why nobody goes to church or temple or mosque. For people are more interested in factories, shops, and cinemas than in the religious places erected by their forefathers. This definitely proves that religious rituals are generally performed for the sake of economic development. If it is not for economic development, okay, people are definitely gone there. So they see the temple and other such places of worship are means to progress economically. So they have some alternative arrangement, alternative means of acquiring that. Then why they should go to temple? If it is out of love, if it is to do some devotional activities or devotional service, then they will definitely go. Now, why the temples and churches and mosques are vacant? Because people are not interested. That is the reason. That's what Prabhupada says here. And when one is baffled in his attempt to attain sense gratification, he takes to the cause of salvation in order to become one with the Supreme Court. So, when people are baffled, confused totally to fulfill their sense gratification, then they want mukti, liberation. They want to get out because they don't want to suffer in this material world. Because whatever they desire is not happening. So somehow they want mukti, liberation from this material entanglement. So all these activities arise with the same aim in view, sense gratification. So even desiring for mukti or liberation is also a sense gratification, to run out of the problems. Okay, they want to get out of the material problems. So somehow they want liberation so that they don't have to suffer. That's what here Prabhupada is explaining. So any questions or any comments?
So, Prabhuji, in this first sentence of religion includes 4 principles. So, dharma, artha, kam, moksha.
Yeah, I didn't get the question, Prabhuji. What is that?
So, religion includes 4 principles.
Yeah.
Dharma, artha, kam, moksha.
Okay, that's the main. But
Yeah.
even beyond that, we have to go.
Yeah, Pancham Purushartha, as you have told.
Yeah, prema. Yeah, that is the ultimate goal of human life.
Yeah.
These general principles. These
Now
are
this dharma and moksha, I am able to understand. But this artha and
okay.
Ram-
Which one you didn't understand? Dharma and moksha.
no, dharma and moksha, I understand. For religious activities, we are doing pious activities, we are doing.
Okay, okay.
I understood for the religion.
Okay,
how
artha and kama.
how
Artha.
we can,
Okay. See, we are following religion because we need some result. Result means money, name, fame, position, all these things. That's why we are going to temple to get some result. Because when we know that when we pray to God, whatever our desires will be fulfilled. I want to become a wealthy person. Okay, that is artha. I want to become a well-known person. That's artha. I want to be a beautiful person, handsome person. That's artha. These are all the results of, our following dharma. So by following dharma, we want all these benefits. So that's the reason we are following. It's not that out of love. Okay, I am coming to somebody's house, to my friend's house, because I have some expectation from my friend. I want to get something from. It's not that I like that friend. I love that friend. Externally, it may look like that I love that person. I like that person, but behind that, there is some ulterior motive. Okay, I go to him so that I have some personal agenda. I have something to get from him. So this is, as what you call selfish interest. Like that, we are going to the temple so that we get some benefit by praying to that particular God. We will become rich, we will become very beautiful, we will become, very famous. All these things will get. So that is the reason we are following dharma. Dharma, we are following to get artha. And when we get artha, we want to enjoy senses. Now, when I have money, what do I need? I need a big bungalow. Big bungalow, better than my friend also. I want very, very expensive cars. Naukar, Chakar, this, that, estate, business empire, all these things. Sense gratification. Okay. So this, but when, when we get 10, I need 100. When we get 100, then we need 1,000, then lakh, then crores, like that. This sense gratification is never satiated, never satisfied. One more and more. So when we are totally, in a miserable condition, we cannot satisfy our senses, then we want mukti, the last stage. Okay. Now I get, $10 million. My friend is getting 20 million. Oh, I'm very sad. Why? Not that I don't have money, because more than me, my friend has. When I get $30 million, he has got $40 million. I am again sad. So it is never, satisfaction is never met. We don't get 100% satisfaction. Okay. In the material world, people are so, what you call, selfish in nature. Once there's a story, a person prayed for Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva, was very pleased. He appeared in front of him, asked, "What do you want? I am very pleased with your worship of me, your prayers. You please ask me for any boon." Then he said, "I want a big bungalow." He said, "No problem, Tathastu. But there's one condition. Whatever you get, your neighbor will get double." He said, "Okay, no problem." I'm okay with it, but I should get it. So he left. Then he immediately decide, I want a very nice bungalow. So immediately there it came in very new, brand new bungalow with garden, this and that. Immediately his neighbor got 2 bungalows. Then he was jealous. I got only 1 bungalow, he got 2 bungalows. He asked for 2 bungalows, he got 4 bungalows. So the condition that no, whatever you ask, he'll get double. So whatever he's asking, he's getting more than that. What can I do? Then he prayed, let me lose my 1 eye. The neighbor lost both eyes. So this is the way of materially oriented people, jealous. It's not that he doesn't have, he is not satisfied with what he has. He is jealous of what others are having.
That's the biggest problem.
So this is it. So, senses can never be satisfied. So when we come at that particular stage, we want mukti. We want liberation. Okay. So this is dharma, artha, kama, moksha.
Yes, sir.
So in the Vedas, the 4 primary subjects mentioned above are prescribed in a regulative way so that there will not be undue competition for sense gratification. But Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental to all these sense gratifying activities of the material world. So everything is sense gratifying activities. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha, everything. But Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental to all this. That's what it is said here. It is a purely transcendental literature. That is called Amala Puran, spotless Puran. Understandable by the devotees of the Lord who are above the competition for sense gratification. In the material world, there is a keen competition between animals, between men, between communities, and even between nations in an attempt to gratify the senses. So everywhere, wherever you go, there are competitions. Even in the animal world, the competition is there. Why? The only purpose is to gratify the senses. But the devotees of the Lord are above all this. The pure devotees of the Lord are above all this. Devotees have no need to compete with materialists because they are on the path back to Godhead, back home where everything is eternal and fully blissful. So devotees know the flickery, miserable situation in this material world. It's temporary, miserable conditions of the material world. So they are not interested in dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Whatever they are doing, they are, just doing it just to please the Supreme Lord. And their motto or their desire is to eternally serve the Supreme Lord. That is what is their ambition or their goal. Going back home, back to Godhead, to eternally serve Him and be blissful. Such transcendentalists are 100% non-envious and are therefore pure in heart. They are non-envious. Okay, they are not envious of anyone. Even others may, treat them as enemies, but they don't treat. They see everybody with equal vision. Okay, Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Suni Chaivaso Pakeja Pandita Samadarshana. They are Samadarsis. They are having equal vision. So that's pure devotees of the Lord. So, but the transcendentalists or devotees of the Lord are not only free from all material envy, but are also kind to everyone in an attempt to establish a competitionless society with God in the center. They are not only, envy-less, but also very compassionate to other living entities. Keeping the God in the center, they do all the activities for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. The socialist idea of a society devoid of competition is artificial because even in the socialist states, there is competition for the post of a dictator. So Prabhupada is telling the idea of the socialist movement or socialist society, is also not correct because even there is a competition for the post of the dictator. That's what he says. It is a fact, therefore, that sense gratification is the central principle of material life, whether based on the Vedas or simply on common human activities. There are three divisions of the Vedas. The first division, Karma Kanda, recommends fruitive activities by which people can advance to higher planets. Above this is the Upasana Kanda, which recommends worship of various demigods for the purpose of attaining their planets. Finally, there is the Jnana Kanda, which recommends activities that enable one to reach the absolute truth and realize his impersonal feature in order to become one with him. Okay, so mainly the Vedas are divided into three: Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda, Jnana Kanda. Karma Kanda is activities, by doing which they can get elevated to the higher planetary system. Okay, Upasana Kanda, by satisfying the demigods, various demigods, for various reasons, they go to the higher planets of that particular demigod. Okay, and then Jnana Kanda, following which they will attain the Sayujya Mukti. Okay, but the impersonal aspect of the absolute truth is not the last word. That is not the last word. So, Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda, and Jnana Kanda. Jnana Kanda is not the last word, the impersonal aspect. Sayujya Mukti is not the last word. Yes. Above the impersonal feature is the Paramatma or Supersoul. And above that is the personal aspect of the absolute truth. Okay. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwan iti sabhyate. So Brahman is the lowest understanding of the supreme absolute truth. Above that is the Paramatma understanding. Above that is the Bhagwan understanding. So that is what is mentioned here. So Brahman is incomplete realization. Paramatma understanding is also incomplete. Bhagwan understanding is the complete, which also consists of the other two, Brahman and Paramatma realization. Srimad Bhagavatam gives information about the personal qualities of the absolute truth beyond the impersonal aspect. Impersonal aspect. Okay, even in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, gives 9 qualities, attributes to Krishna. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashwadam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. Okay, so the qualities of the absolute personality is a person. So these attributes cannot be denoted to what you call Brahman or Paramatma. This can be given only to Bhagwan. So here also it is said that Bhagavatam gives information about the personal qualities of the absolute truth, personal qualities beyond the impersonal aspect. Topics concerning these qualities are greater than topics of impersonal philosophical speculations. Consequently, Srimad Bhagavatam is given higher status than the Jnana Kanda divisions of the Vedas. So Prabhupada wants to reaffirm that Bhagavatam is above even the Vedas. Why? Because it is not just dealing the Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. It is mainly dealing with the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord and his pure devotees. It is above the 3 divisions of this knowledge: Karma, Jnana, and Upasana. Srimad Bhagavatam is also greater than the Karma Kanda and the Upasana Kanda divisions because it recommends the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the person. Okay, Jnanis, they will worship only who? The Brahma Jyoti. And the yogis, they will worship the Paramatma. Okay, so the highest of all these are the devotees who worship the Bhagwan. Bhagwan is a complete name for the Supreme Absolute Truth. It's a person. Okay, is the Karma Kanda and the Upasana Kanda division of Supreme. It recommends the worship of the Supreme Personality of God, Sri Krishna, the divine son of Vasudeva. The Karma Kanda division of the Vedas is fraught with competition to reach heavenly planets for better sense gratification. So Karma Kandi people, why they are worshipping? They want to go higher planets, for having more and more sense gratification. If sense gratification on earthly planet is 10%, okay, sense gratification in heavenly planets maybe 80%, 90%, 100%. Maximum sense gratification. That's why people want to do, fruitive activities and homas and yagas and all these things so that they can go to the higher planets, the Swarga Lokas, for more and more sense gratificatory activities. Okay. So, and this competition is also seen in the Jnana Kanda and Upasana Kanda division. Srimad Bhagavatam is about all this because it aims only at the supreme truth, the substance or root of all categories. So, any questions or any comments?
Brahmeti, Parameti, Bhagavan.
What is that, Prabhuji? Yeah, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan.
Okay, so Brahma Jyoti, you are saying is
it is incomplete understanding of the Supreme Absolute. It is incomplete understanding of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Okay, that's first level. Second, above that is Paramatma realization. Above that is Bhagavan realization. That's a complete understanding. So devotees, they worship the Supreme Lord as a person, is a Bhagavan. But that Jnanis, they worship the Supreme Lord as a Brahman, Brahmajyoti, who doesn't have any form, or who is Nirguna, Nirakara, Nirvishesha. So that's the difference.
Prabhuji, but what is the difference?
Who is Jnani and who is Yogi, Prabhuji?
What is that?
Who is Jnani and who is Yogi? I mean, how you will understand?
Yeah, Jnani is one who is, accepting the Supreme as the Brahman without any form for the God and without any guna or without any attributes. Okay, Nirakara, Nirvishesha, Nirguna, all these things. Okay, and yogis, the yogis meditate on the super soul, the Paramatma. Okay, so Jnanis and yogis. Then Bhakta, the Bhagwan. Okay. Vishajyoti, you were asking something?
Yes, Prabhuji, I was asking that if the Jnanis and the yogis are worshipping in the Brahman and the Paramatma form, then they are indirectly worshipping Bhagwan only, then why are they not getting the full benefit?
They are indirectly worshipping the Supreme Lord, but they don't accept the form of the Supreme Lord as the highest truth. So that's why they don't, for example, you are going to, Calcutta, taking a ticket. Okay, when you take a ticket to Calcutta, you will reach only Calcutta. You will not go to New York. Right? So if you only take a ticket to New York, you can go to New York. But similarly, the yogis and the jnanis, they want Brahman. So they are reaching Brahman. They are not asking for Bhagavan. So they don't reach the Bhagavan to serve Bhagavan. Said, what you ask, that you will get. If you want to go to Calcutta, you can go only to Calcutta by the ticket that you have bought for Calcutta. If you buy a ticket for New York, you will be able to fly to New York. So did you get it?
Yes, sir.
So it's an incomplete understanding. It's not that they are wrong, but the complete understanding is Lord is a person. And the other two, that is Paramatma and Brahman, are his Shaktis, different aspects. It's not wrong Only it is an incomplete understanding. Okay. Just like, the sun god, the sun planet, and the sun rays. Okay. Who is the original? The sun god is the original. The sun god has the sun planet. And from the sun planet comes the sun rays. So actually sun rays and sun planet are non-different from sun god. But at the same time, sun god is the, the topmost realization. Without sun god, the sun planet and the sun rays doesn't exist. But at the same time, they are same. At the same time, they are not the same also. So who is superior? The sun god is superior. Because of sun god, there is sun planet, and because of sun planet, there is sun rays. So that's how the Brahman is, let us say, that is sun rays, and the Paramatma, let us say, it is sun planet, and sun god, let us say, that is Bhagwan. Did you get it? Mr. Jodi?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
That is how we have to understand Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Okay?
Yes.
In other words, from Srimad Bhagavatam, we can know the substance as well as the relativities in their true sense and perspective. The substance is the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the relativities are the different forms of energy which emanates from him. So here Prabhupada clearly says the substance is the absolute truth as Bhagwan, and the relativities are the different forms of his energies in the form of Paramatma and Brahman. Okay, another example also can be given. When the train was introduced, people had not seen train, okay, in the earlier days. So in the villages, people were telling train is coming, train is coming. So the village that, Sarpanch told, please go and see what is this train, because nobody knows what is train. So one person went and said, so he saw the light, so much light is coming. Okay, so immediately went back and told, well, train means too much light. Okay, so that is his understanding. Then he said, he's another person, you find out. That means he is telling that is just like, there are some boxes like, it's coming. It's not very clear. So many boxes are there in that. It is just coming faster. So I could not understand it very clearly. So his understanding was different than the first person. Then as the train approached the station, the third person, when he went, he could see and understand the real structure of the train. Then he came and explained to that person, this is train. With so many bogies, people are traveling this and that. Similarly, the understanding of impersonal jnanis and yogis and bhaktas are like that. The first understanding is that train is just a light. That is a Brahman. Then second understanding is a Paramatma. Okay. And the third understanding is that Bhagwan. So like that we can understand. Okay. So does it make does it make some sense?
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
So since the living entities are also his energies, there is nothing really different from the substance. Okay. At the same time, the energies are different from the substance. There is relativities, but at the same time, it's not different also. It's all connected, because these energies, the Paramatma and the Brahman energies or Shakti, comes from the owner of that. Who is an owner? Bhagwan. He is a person. He is the substance. This conception is not self-contradictory. Srimad Bhagavatam explicitly deals with this simultaneously one and different philosophy. A philosophy also found in the Vedanta Sutra, which begins with the Janmadhyasya Sutra. So this is a philosophy given to us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. Achintya Bheda Abheda. Okay. Simultaneous oneness, but different. Okay. What is that simultaneous oneness and what is different? Can you give some example, Vishajodi?
Prabhuji, can you please repeat because I didn't understand.
What is that?
Can you please repeat your question once?
Okay. Now, Achintya Bheda Abheda, simultaneous one, but different. You know, the aspect, different qualities of the Supreme Lord and the Supreme Lord are one and at the same time different. Can you give some example?
Example of anything like same but different.
Yes.
For example, can be any fruit. One fruit is similar to the other fruit, but in taste or something it can be different.
No, okay. Okay. You know, the water, the properties of water contained in one drop. You know, when you check and if you see the whole ocean, it's same, salty, right? So what is the difference? Difference is in quantity. Okay, in quality it's same. Similarly, ourselves and the Supreme Lord, in quality we are the same. We are Sachidananda. God is Sachidananda. We are also Sachidananda. But the quantity is different. He is great. We are very, very minute. Okay. Similarly, the gold mine and the gold particle. The gold mine and the particle in quality it is same. Now, if you take the quality of a ringer, I mean this thing gold thing, what is a ring? And if you check the quality of the gold mine, complete gold also, it is the same quality, but in quantity, gold mine has so much, isn't it? Similarly, here the God, Supreme Lord as Bhagwan is full, but his other aspects is partial. Paramatma and Brahman, it is a partial representation of the Supreme Absolute Truth. So same but different. Okay. So in quality same, but in quantity different. So it is very clearly given simultaneously one and different philosophy. This is called Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. Bheda means different. Abheda means non-different. It's different at the same time non-different. Isn't it contradictory? It's not. We feel that it is contradictory, but it's not contradictory. This is how we have to understand. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji, clear.
Okay, we'll read one more para. Knowledge of the simultaneously one and different nature of the absolute truth has been imparted for the well-being of everyone. Mental speculators mislead people by trying to establish the energy of the Lord as absolute. But when the truth of simultaneous oneness and different is understood, that truth is more pleasing than the perfect concepts of the monism and dualism. So people are misled by different philosophies. Okay. But when we really understand this concept, then we know that this is, perfect. This knowledge is perfect. What is the difference between us and the Supreme Lord? The difference between us and the Supreme, he is Vibhu, he is great. And we are Anu, we are minute. Okay, we are just a, he says, Mamai Vamsu Jiva Loki, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. My Amsha. So when he is full, we are just his particle, is Amsha only, just a fragment. In fact, there is no difference between us and him in quality, but in quantity, there is a lot of difference. Because we are his Amsha, we have the same quality. He is telling Mamai Vamsu Jiva Loki, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. But are we equal in quantity with him? No. So this is the philosophy that, Srimad Bhagavatam is teaching us. And this is the philosophy that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than Krishna, is also teaching us. So the concepts of monism, dualism, it is imperfect. It's not that it is wrong, it is imperfect. So the understanding that the Lord is supreme and we are minute. We can never become one with God. That's a misconception. Yeah, there is a provision in the Vedas for becoming one with God. That's called Sayuja Mukti. But that is not the ultimate goal of human life. That is not the perfection of human life. Bhagavatam clearly says that beyond that is the devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sayuja Mukti is also there. It's not wrong. It is there. But that is not the ultimate perfection of human life. So that is what Srimad Bhagavatam says here. So by understanding the Lord's simultaneous oneness with and different from his creation, he can immediately attain freedom from the threefold miseries. So which are the threefold miseries, Vishwajyoti?
Prabhuji, I don't know the threefold miseries. Can you explain the thing?
Adhyatmik, Adi Bhaudik, Adi Devik. Okay, Adhyatmik are the miseries inflicted upon us by our own body and mind. Okay, our mind is troubling us, our body is troubling us with sickness in this and that. Our mind is always, in anxiety. So we feel miseries because of our own body and mind. So this is called Adhyatmik miseries. Adi Bhaudik, we are, getting inflicted miseries by other living entities, by animals, by mosquito, by flies, by cockroach, by our relatives, by our enemies. They are getting infliction, or they are inflicted by other living entities. That is called Adi Bhaudik. And Adi Devik, natural calamities like tsunami, hurricane, flood, drought, all these things. That is because the demigods are not happy with what we are doing. So they cause natural calamities. So we are getting, these are called threefold miseries. Adhyatmik, Adi Bhaudik, and Adi Devik. Okay, that's what here said. Miseries inflicted by the body and mind, by other living entities, and by acts of nature, or which we have no control. So we can attain freedom from these threefold miseries. If we understand this philosophy and if we lead a life in accordance with that philosophy. Is it clear?
Prabhuji, I have a doubt, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Some people, the Adi Devik, the natural calamities you told, like the drought, flood. Some people are suffering from drought, flood, even if they are good. So why they are suffering?
I don't know. If
Prabhuji, I said that some people are suffering from natural calamities, even if they are not doing harm to anyone. Then why the demigod will be angry on them?
Okay, that because we don't know whether they have done harm or any to anyone in this particular life. We may know, but what do we know that they have not done any harm in their previous lives? So that karma they have to settle, no? Maybe they must have done so much of harm to others in the previous lives, which will get fructified in this particular life. That seed is getting fructified only in this particular life. So that's why, although they may not have done any harm to other living entities in this particular life, what is there in the closing balance? The closing, yes, our Purushottam Prabhu. The previous year's closing balance will be the opening balance of this year. Right?
Yes, Prabhu.
So there is, there was a closing balance of the previous lives. So that balance is brought forward and it is opening balance this year. It's there. So we have to settle that. The debit and credit should become zero. Only then, we'll be eligible to go back home, back to Godhead.
Correct.
Got it?
Yes, Prabhu.
So that's why bad things happen to good people. Why good things happen to bad people? He may be very bad in this life. Maybe in the previous lives, he must have done a lot of charitable activities, social activities, helping people. So for that, good things that they have done, they have to enjoy this. So that is due for enjoyment. For example, we have started saving, 10 years back. Every month, we are depositing, say, 10,000 rupees. Okay. And after 10 years, we are getting a big amount of money. Then we can enjoy using that money. What we are depositing is only small amount, 10,000 rupees every month or every year, whatever it is. But after 10 years, it becomes a big amount, then we can enjoy that. So whatever activities that we have done, good or bad, if it is good, we will have to enjoy. If it is bad, we'll have to suffer. So it is not just this life. The activities of many lives, we are enjoying and suffering. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So that's why now, as I told you earlier in the beginning, our destiny is based upon our karmas of the previous lives. Okay, the future destiny will depend upon our karmas from now onwards. Stop doing all nonsense activities. Only do devotional activities on the akarma platform. So our future lives are safe. If we are pakka in our surrendering process to the Supreme Lord and doing devotional service perfectly, this will be our last life. Then we will get a transcendental body, not a material body. And we'll be able to go back home, back to Godhead, and enjoy a blissful, eternal, knowledgeful of life. At least if we are not becoming perfect in this life, at least there's a guarantee that we'll get a human form of life from where we can advance spiritually. A very conducive atmosphere we'll get. We'll get birth in a family of devotees from where we can advance. If we are practicing very nice devotional service, but at the same time, we could not become perfect in this life. So definitely, we'll be born in a family of devotees from where we can practice spirituality very nicely. So got it?
Yes, Prabhu.
So we'll stop here. So next is Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the surrender of the living entity unto the Supreme, unto the absolute person. Okay. Please make a note of that. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.